We are back on Taking Care of Business on Current Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230, KGEO, 1410 KERI, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and 1000 KKIM, and now in the Richmond, Oakland, and San Francisco Bay Area. Our guest by phone, an old friend of the program, Michael Reagan. So, Michael, let's switch topics a little bit. A couple things I wanted to talk to you about. I know last election you were involved in that part-time legislature initiative with our own Shannon Grove. Where's that at? Are we going to give that another shot next election?
I'd love to be able to get another shot, but literally you have to go outside the state of California to raise the money to fund the signatures that you need in order to have a part-time legislature in the state, because all of our legislators basically, not so much the legislators, but let me say anybody who might contribute money to such an issue, have all been told that, in fact, if they do, then not good things will happen to them when the legislature meets.
And that's probably
the things that they in fact want.
Yeah, and that's
probably they don't give the money in the state. So you have to go outside the state to fund in the state. You need about $2 million.
Wow.
To get the 800,000 signatures you need to put on the ballot. I would love to do that, and I still talk to people, but I have to talk to people outside, not inside the state of California, in order to get it done.
Yeah, and Michael, they're probably being intimidated by Republicans and Democrats because neither one of them want that part-time legislature for obvious reasons.
Absolutely right. Absolutely 100% correct. It's not a left thing. It's a left and right Democrat-Republican issue.
Yeah, unfortunately. And it's something we desperately need. I mean, look at Texas. They're doing a great job, with the part-time legislature.
Oh, yeah. Where's everybody moving to?
Yeah.
We're all moving to Texas.
Yeah, for some strange reason.
They just don't have an ocean.
Yeah, there you go. Well, they do, but Houston, Galveston is not Santa Monica, as we both know.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not Malibu. It's not Santa Monica. It's Galveston.
By the way, I got married in June at Malibu, so on the beach there.
There you go. That was one of the wineries? No,
actually, just on the beach there at Point Doom. We found a little spot that we both liked, and
very nice.
Yeah, just got married there.
Nice.
I want to ask you another question that I know there's got to be a reason for this, because I've known you long enough to know your conservative roots and everything. Mm-hmm. But I saw that you endorsed Brad Sherman in the last election, and this is a guy that's got a 100% rating from the Sierra Club and a 100% rating from the AFL-CIO. I think I know why you did, but I'm just curious, why that happened.
Well, first of all, in the state of California, the top two vote getters in the primary go on to the general election. And I supported Mark Reed, the Republican, in the primaries, but he came in third. So the top two vote getters in the general election were Howard Berman and Brad Sherman, two liberal Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to vote for one of them. I'm not going to sit home and not vote, because I vote. And so I made a deal with Brad Sherman. I went to him, and he reached out to me. I reached out to him. I said, something? That I deal a lot in child issues, from child abuse, child pornography, and what have you. Having Mike Reagan Center down in Texas, I deal with these things on adoption, foster care, and so on and so forth. I said, if I would like to be able to come back to Washington, I've been trying with Republicans for 20 years to testify in Washington on child abuse and child pornography and the real issue and what's going on in America. And I have not been asked to ever testify by Republicans when they were back there. And I said, if you will set it up so I can come back and testify in Washington on child pornography and child abuse, then I will in fact support you in your re-election a bid in California. He happens to be my congressman also.
Yes.
And he said, and that was a deal that I made with Brad Sherman. No Republican ever comes to me and said, I want you to come back and testify. Nobody wants to come back. Nobody wants to realize there's 400,000 children taken out of their homes every year in America because of neglect and abuse. Nobody wants to understand that there's a $12 billion a year a human trafficking issue in the United States of America. Nobody wants to realize there's 100,000 children, American children, who in fact have been recruited into human sex trafficking in the United States of America. Nobody wants to realize that child pornography is huge and rampant. The child abuse is even bigger and rampant. wants to really, realize that, and it really kind of upsets me. It's a big issue with me, and the fact is the Republicans want to just give you lip service, basically, on it. And Brad Sherman said, I'm willing to help because I think it's a huge issue, too. I said, I'll support you.
Wow. We're having a conversation with author, TV host, Michael Reagan. Michael, I know it's a big issue for you. In fact, your name came up here a couple of weeks ago because we had a guest on who had suffered from abuse from a family member. And one of my favorite books, one of the books that I've been most touched by over the last couple of years was your book, Twice Adopted. I quote it often. I mean, it's a very telling story, and you talk about abuse that you had from a camp counselor.
Yeah,
and,
people want to believe it's only the Catholic Church that abuses. It's rampant in the United States of America. I mean, the Jerry Sandusky issue back in Pennsylvania. If people don't think that's happening on other college campuses, they got their head in the sand. If the Protestant Church doesn't want to believe it's happening in the Protestant Church, they've got their head in the sand. You've got 4 out of 10 boys, 6 out of 10 girls who are being sexually abused in the world that we live in today. Again, when you have 42 million children go to bed every night without a father in the home, the question has to be, who's hugging your son? Who's hugging your daughter? And if you're not there to hug your daughter and uplift your daughter, uplift your son, and hug your son, somebody else is going to come in and do that. And the worst institution of all in protecting the molester over the molested is the institution of the family. I write about it in my book, Protecting Uncle Charlie. Mm-hmm. So where the church protects the priest, the school protects the teacher, the educator, the coach, the family, 99% of the time protects the molester over the molested. And nobody wants to really want to deal with that. If we don't talk about it, it really does not happen. But you have 400,000 children in foster care in America today. You have 100,000 available for adoption. As I said, 400,000 children taken out of their homes every year in America because of neglect and abuse. We have a huge problem in this country, and if we don't wake up to it, it's not going to get better. It's going to get absolutely worse. I went through it. I went through the child abuse side of it for a year with a day camp counselor that my mother put me with that she trusted. Most of the time, your child is being molested by somebody you trust. And then I was part of child pornography because he took photographs of me also. And those photographs, by the way, were not destroyed till about 7 years ago.
Oh, my God.
That's when he died. And when he died, I got a letter from his sister-in-law saying, Michael, Don died. He was evil the day he died, is the day he molested you and took photographs, and you can rest assured the photographs have finally been destroyed. But to give you some numbers real quick, Marty, the average number of children who will be sexually molested by one molester is 117 children.
See, and that's frightening. That is absolutely frightening.
Yeah.
Mike, we've only got about a minute left. Oh God, you and I always run out of time. I got to have you back on. Again, the event that Mike will be here in the Kern County area in Bakersfield is The Heart Never Forgets. It's Thursday, October 24th, and the phone number to call either for reservations or if you're out of the area and you want to sponsor this great event, the phone number is 661-393-8871. That's 661-393-8871, and the event is October 24th. So again, Mike, thank you so much for the time, and there are so many things on my list here where I wanted to talk to you about, but we just ran out of time again.
I think also, Marty, just in case, I think people who go there that will get my book. I think it's going to be free to them, so my book, Twice Adopted, will be there.
Okay, and I highly recommend his new book. Michael, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll see you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio News Talk 1180.